The first thing you notice is how tight the land feels, like the earth itself is holding its breath. Thermopylae is not a battlefield the way people imagine one. There are no wide fields. No room to run. Just a narrow road pinned between rock and sea. Mountains rise on one side like a wall. The water presses in from the other. And in the middle, men stand shoulder to shoulder, waiting. I remember thinking how strange it was that history could fit into a space so small. The air smells of salt and sweat. Armor rubs against skin. Shields knock together by accident, then stop. No one speaks much. There is nothing left to explain. We all know why we are here. We all know how this ends. We just don't know when. The sun beats down, slow and unforgiving. Time stretches. Minutes feel heavy. Every sound travels, a cough, a footstep, the creak of leather. Somewhere behind us, fires crackle. Somewhere ahead, the enemy is coming. You can't see them yet, but you feel them. This pass was chosen for a reason. Not because it offers safety, but because it removes escape. The sea blocks one side. The cliffs block the other. If the line breaks, there is nowhere to go. That thought sits quietly in the back of your mind, like a shadow you refuse to turn toward. I look at the men beside me. Farmers. Sons. Brothers. Not legends. Not heroes. Just men holding spears that suddenly feel very light. Someone whispers a prayer. Someone else tightens their grip. I press my shield into the dirt and feel the ground push back, solid and real. Whatever happens here will happen fast. And it will happen close. Far ahead, a low sound rolls through the pass. Not thunder. Footsteps. They did not arrive all at once. At first, it was just movement at the far end of the pass. Dark shapes where there should have been sky. Then color. Bronze. Cloth. Banners that caught the sun and refused to look away. The Persian army didn't march toward us like men. It flowed, slow and endless, like the land itself had decided to rise up and walk. I remember thinking there had to be a mistake. No army could be that large. No force could keep going like that without stopping. But it did not stop. It kept coming. Row after row. Line after line. Faces I could not see. Voices I could not understand. And then the sound hit us. Drums. Thousands of them. Beating in a rhythm that felt less like music and more like a heartbeat. Not ours. Theirs. Somewhere behind us, a Spartan officer laughed. Not because it was funny, but because fear needs somewhere to go when it has nowhere else to hide. The Persians halted just out of reach. Too far for a spear. Close enough to be seen. Their armor gleamed. Their numbers swallowed the road. You could feel their confidence pressing forward, testing us without touching. A messenger stepped out. He spoke loudly, certain we would listen. Lay down your weapons. The words traveled easily in the narrow pass. They echoed off the stone. They hung in the air longer than they should have. No one answered at first. Then Leonidas spoke, calm and quiet, like this was a simple request that deserved a simple response. His voice did not rise. It didn't need to. Come and take them. The silence afterward was heavier than the drums. The Persians attacked soon after. Not with fury. With certainty. They believed numbers alone would break us. That men would panic when faced with a wall of bodies. They were wrong. The first clash was sudden. Shields slammed. Spears punched forward. The pass filled with shouting and steel and the sound of breath being forced from lungs. And as the first enemy fell, I realized something terrible. They were not going to stop. After the first charge, time stopped behaving normally. Day and night blurred together. The sun rose, burned us, and sank again, but the fighting never truly left. It only slowed, like a wound that refuses to close. They kept coming in waves. Not all at once. Never all at once. Enough to test us. Enough to wear us down. We learned their rhythm, and they learned our wall of shields. Step forward. Thrust. Pull back. Lock shields. Breathe. Repeat. Your arms begin to feel like stone. Your hands shake when you don't want them to. Sweat fills your eyes. Blood, there's an hour's, turns the ground slick. You stop noticing the bodies at your feet because there is no room left to notice anything else. Men fall. Sometimes they are dragged back. Sometimes they are not. When a gap opens, it is filled instantly. Not by courage. By habit. By training. By the knowledge that if you hesitate, the man beside you dies too. At night, the pass smells different. Metallic. Damp. Fires glow against the rock. Wounded men groan softly so they don't disturb the others. No one sleeps deeply. Every sound feels like an attack waiting to happen. On the second day, elite Persian soldiers came forward. Taller. Better armed. More confident. We pushed them back the same way. Not because we were stronger, but because the pass made us equal. One shield. One spear. One man at a time. By the third day, exhaustion sat heavier than fear. Your body hurts everywhere, so pain stops having meaning. You fight because stopping feels worse. That is when the whispers began. There was talk of a path. A trail through the mountains. A way around us. At first, no one believed it. Then Leonidas called the officers together. And the air changed. The order came quietly, passed from mouth to mouth, not shouted. Those who could leave were told to go. At first, no one moved. It didn't feel like relief. It felt like confusion. Like being told to wake up from a dream while still inside it. Some argued. Some begged to stay. Others stared at the ground, knowing exactly what the order meant. The path was real. The enemy was already behind us. By dawn, the pass would close from both sides. Leonidas stayed. So did his Spartans. So did the Thespians who refused to leave. A few others remained too. Not because they were ordered, but because they chose to be there when the end arrived. When the men who were leaving finally turned away, no one watched them go. Not out of anger. Out of respect. Survival was no longer part of our story. The Persians attacked at first light. This time, there was no holding back. No careful formation. Spears shattered. Swords replaced them. Shields splintered. The fighting collapsed inward until it became a knot of bodies, dust, and screams. You stopped thinking about winning. You stopped thinking about living. You fought for the man beside you. For the moment you were standing in. For the sound of your own breath still coming back to you. Leonidas fell somewhere in the chaos. We never saw how. Only that the fighting tightened around where he went down. Like the earth itself refused to give him up easily. When my shield finally broke, I dropped it. When my sword dulled, I swung it anyway. When I fell, I stood again. And when the arrows came, they darkened the sky just like the stories say. But standing there, at the end, one thought remained. They would remember this place.